From the Samson Production Studios in the heart of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, it's your News 13.
Brought to you by SSPTV and the Standard Speaker.
It's just, the relentless pursuit of the truth. That's essentially what we're looking for. And unfortunately, this business and the people that work here impeded our investigation and tampered with physical evidence.
Right now on News 13, a West Hazleton business is now at the forefront of a murder investigation. Why police say more arrests could be coming in the homicide case of a 29-year-old Hazel Township man. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jasmine Brooks. New developments in the homicide case of 29-year-old Aaron Resnick. Police have tracked down his iPhone, which police say his murderers, 17-year-old Mitchell Diaz and 19-year-old Breon Judon, took from him the night they beat him and left him to die. News 13 found police and the district attorney's office at Smart Geek System Friday evening, where they executed a search warrant. Investigators were following activity on Resnick's phone, which led them to this business.
But, investigators did come in and inquired about the phone and explained that something was taken off a victim from an assault. And that ultimately they denied ever receiving the phone. They denied ever, having any knowledge of it. Once we came back and questioned them on it based on the information that we found from the phone records that told us where the cell phone towers were hitting off of, they were still hesitant to say that they had the phone, and ultimately what they did is they said they had to look for it, but ironically enough, the timestamp shows that they were wiping the phone immediately of data once we left here, and by the time it was complete, that's when the people stated that they found the phone and called us to come retrieve it. So ultimately they destroyed evidence when we intentionally told them it was evidence. They specifically knew what it was, and it's a very, very serious thing.
So far, no additional charges have been filed in the case. 17-year-old Mitchell Diaz and 19-year-old Breon Judon remain behind bars, charged with homicide. Two West Hazleton residents found themselves in a dangerous situation over the weekend after confronting a man who they thought was acting suspicious. Police arrested 29-year-old Jason Williams Saturday night in the area of West Clay Avenue. Williams was walking in the street waving around a gun that was originally pointed at Williams himself by another man who told police he confronted Williams, gun in hand, because he thought Williams was going to break into his car. Williams attacked the man and got a hold of the gun. He then pointed it at the man and threatened to kill him. Williams then shoved a woman who was attempting to break up the fight and told her she was next. He now faces several charges, including aggravated assault and terroristic threats. Police say this man, 24-year-old Justin Vaughn, is now back in custody after turning himself into authorities over the weekend. Vaughn, who was a resident of Minsek, never returned to the facility after completing community service on Thursday. He turned himself into Bloomsburg police late Saturday night. One person was taken to the hospital this morning after a two-car crash in the city of Hazleton. The accident happened here at the intersection of Broad Street and Diamond Avenue. We're told the person that was taken to the hospital suffered minor injuries. Coming up on News 13, Fred and Ron team up for this week's sports. Plus, we have your golf tip of the week. Plus, it was back to school for some students today. We'll stop by some local schools to check out how their first day of class was. Stay with us.
SSPTV Sports on News 13 with Fred Barletta Jr. and Ron Marchetti.
Well, the first two preseason games for the Kansas City Chiefs were nondescriptive for Hazleton native Nate Eachus. Throw that out the door because over the weekend in preseason game number 3, he became a force, if you will, for the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's take a look and tell you a little bit about what went on. In case you missed it, well, the Chiefs didn't do so well. They got upended by the Seattle Seahawks. But Eachus, who got in the second half, all he did was carry the football 10 times for 98 yards and became the leading rusher in the game. He had a 20-yard run. That was his long. He scored a touchdown. And they showed a highlight on ESPN where he basically decleated one of the Seattle Seahawks on a lead block. I mean, it was sweet. what I'm going to tell you here is the Chiefs cut down to 75, and Ichis has made that first cut. So one more cut to go. That'll be done at the end of this week. We'll see what happens. You take a look. There's the stats. Key game coming up for Nate Ichis anyway. They're going to be playing at Lambeau Field. I don't think you'll have to worry about the Ice Bowl syndrome here in August, but he gets to play on sacred ground right there. That's going to be a hoot all to itself. But more importantly, he could be playing for his NFL career. We'll wait and see, but I like his chances right now. The hometown kid looking real good. He had himself a heck of an afternoon, and we're hoping it's going to continue. We always said, just give him a chance. Give him a chance. And they did, and, well, you can see he's knocking at the door. Good for Nate Ichis. We'll let you know. Now, another guy, well, this is a whole nother story. Give him a chance. Same thing. Russ Kanzler, take a look. He had a big game. 3 for 4, double, home run, couple of runs batted in as Columbus knocks off Indianapolis. Why am I saying give him a chance? Folks, I watched the Cleveland Indians sparingly during the season, watched every inning of every game over the weekend because they're playing the Yankees, and I'm going to tell you what, their offense is horrendous. Horrendous. And if you take a look at the guys like, Matt Laporta's gotten a shot, averages in the tank. Casey Kochman, I know he has a great club. He's batting about 2 1/4. You keep going up and down the line. This team, there's no reason they can't give Russ Kanzler a chance. I guess he's getting a September call-up at this point, but it's ridiculous. He should have been up all season long. Anyhow, Kyle Landis, he did not pitch. Trenton, over-accurate. Guess that's why when he's on the losing end, or his team is, he doesn't get in the game. I'm getting a little fired up about the locals. They're not getting their fair shot here. Anyhow, Scranton Wilkes-Barre, 6-2 winners over Lehigh Valley. So that's the way it's all breaking down. Here's the schedule today. Columbus and Indianapolis, Akron, Altoona, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Lehigh Valley. Oh, by the way, you want to go back to what I was saying? Let's look at Kanzler's stats for the year. There they are. Bring them up. Thank you. Man, very impressive. You know, just about every team he's played on through the minor leagues, he's led the team and almost the league he's in doubles and RBIs. He's done it again here. I just don't get it. As far as Kyle Landis, well, he's put up some interesting numbers as well. I had a couple of hiccups here and there, but for the most part, take a look. He's basically given up only 1 hit per inning, and that's not too bad. Look at the walks to strikeout ratio, folks. I mean, I don't know. He's shown I've seen guys brought up to the majors that don't have numbers like this, so I just can't figure it out. Anyhow, Major League Baseball, Toronto Yankees open up a series in the Bronx tonight. Joe Madden, they had their troubles with Oakland, but they play Texas tonight in Texas. St. Louis and Pittsburgh, boy, are the Pirates sliding down the chute. And it's brought to you tonight by Stripes and Strikes. A lot more than just baseball and softball. How about for the golfers out there? That's right, they got you covered too. All sorts of golf-lined equipment, from the right clothing to all of the right accessories. You'll find them at Stripes and Strikes. It's the area's newest retailer, located on Route 309. Look for the green awning across from Genetti's Best Western. Stripes and Strikes. Make the right call.
Strange things are happening. Hi, everybody, on this final Monday in August. In the USA Little League Championship game, a score ends up 24-16. And when was the last time you remember 2 Major League teams not being scheduled to play on a Sunday during the regular season, as was yesterday, Oakland and Tampa Bay? And to think that the Washington Nationals are about to shut down their best pitcher for the year after pitching a total of 160 innings this season is absolutely ridiculous. He's pitching well and not complaining. Hey, when pitcher Tommy John came back this season following his surgery, he started in 32 games. This is not the time to baby Strasburg. Look what happened to Jabba Chamberlain after he was babied by the Yankees. He stinks. The last time Washington was in a World Series, gas was 7 cents a gallon. Mother of God. On this day, 20 years ago, the Milwaukee Brewers erupted for 31 hits to defeat the Blue Jays 22-2 at the Sky Dome in Toronto. The win snapped Milwaukee's 5-game losing streak and 10-game losing streak on the road. The year was 1992. Now let's go back to today in 1972, 40 years ago. Giants pitcher Jim Barr set a major league record by retiring 41 batters in a row in his previous start. Barr retired the last 21 batters to beat the Pirates 8-0. And today, in '72, Barr faced the Cardinals at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, and he set down the first 20 batters before right fielder Bernie Carbo doubled. Barr's streak of retiring 41 batters in a row was matched by Bobby Jenks of the White Sox over 14 straight relief appearances in 2007, and it was broken by Mark Buehrle of the Sox in 2009. Buehrle sat down 45 in succession over 3 starts in 2009, and one of them was a perfect game. And finally, 25 years ago today, in 1987, catcher Dave Bresnahan of Williamsport in the Class AA Eastern League achieved fame with a potato batting at 150. Bresnahan realized he will likely never reach the majors, but concocted a plan to give him the kind of lasting mortality afforded his great-uncle Roger Bresnahan, a member of the Hall of Fame. Before the game against Reading at Williamsport, Bresnahan put a peeled potato in his back pocket. With the Reading runner on third base during the game, Bresnahan attempted to pick off the runner and purposely threw the potato high over the third baseman's head down the left field line. The runner broke for the plate, and Bresnahan naturally was waiting for him with the real ball to tag him out. After discovering the hoax a few seconds later, the home plate umpire called the runner safe. The next day, Bresnahan was released by the Cleveland Indians, Williamsport's parent club. Williamsport team officials were more forgiving of Bresnahan's half-baked idea and brought him back for a potato night promotion the next season in 1988, which did not make any sense at all. Till Friday, be a good sport. Stay loose.
Hi, I'm Chuck Jumpeter, and tonight I'm going to help you tune your wedges to improve your short game. Now, the easiest way to do that, and I'm going to work with my 56-degree sand wedge right here, is I'm going to have you take a little notepad, which we'll talk about later, and take your wedges and practice 3 different swings with all of your wedges. A swing from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock, a swing from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and a swing from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. If you can do that and tune your wedges and know the yardages you hit with each one of those shots, it'll improve your scores. It'll help you get that ball up and down when you get close to the green. The way you do this, get yourself a little notepad, write down the wedge you're working with. In this case, it's my 56, and put 8, 9, and 10 on there. And what you want to do is hit 4 or 5 shots with each of those positions. I'll demonstrate one of each to give you the idea. I'll just take a little swing from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Another swing where I'll go from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And another swing where I go from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. After you hit several shots with each of your wedges that way, step them off and find out how far they went. Write down those yardages so that you'll know how far each club goes with a different swing. That way, when you're out on the course and you're faced with that tough little chip shot, you'll know exactly which wedge to choose and how hard to hit it.
Well, it's the start of a brand new week, so let's check out what Mother Nature is planning on bringing our way. Beginning tonight in Schuylkill County, we take a look at tonight's weather. And there we go. Tonight, cloudy with a chance of thunderstorms, the low down to 63 degrees. Heading into your Tuesday for Schuylkill County residents, mostly sunny, a chance of thunderstorms once again with a high of 82 degrees. All right, a student from West Hazleton Elementary School helping to bring tonight's Greater Hazleton forecast. And what a beautiful picture that is. Tonight, cloudy skies, again, a chance of thunderstorms in our area, low down to 59 degrees. Then tomorrow, gradually clearing, the sun coming out with a chance of showers, but a high of 75 degrees. Tonight's forecast brought to you by Just Windows and much, much more. Better windows plus better installation equals Just Windows. They're located in Freeland on 1st Street. You can give them a call today, 636-1133. And taking a look at those winning lottery numbers, your daily 3, 4, 4, Big 4, 7, 9, 2, 8, Quinto 5, 6, 810, and your treasure hunt 16, 20, 26, 28, 29. Good luck.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's social news. We have a few first day of school photos. Here's James and Jaylene Koval. They're students at Holy Family Academy. James is in kindergarten, and Jaylene is in 4th grade. Also, we have 5-year-old Olivia Dudek. It's her first day of kindergarten at McAdoo Catholic. And finally, Isabella Lissant, getting ready for her first day at 3rd grade at Holy Family Academy. That's tonight's social news. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Judith M. Fisher of Hazel Township. Funeral will be held Friday at 1 p.m. from the Harmon Funeral Home. Friends may call Friday from noon to 1 p.m. August Yanoshik of Claire's. Funeral arrangements will be announced by the Stanley E. Anilowski Funeral Home. Irene B. Heckroad of Maple Shade, New Jersey. Mass will be held Wednesday at 10 a.m. in the Good Shepherd Church. Friends may call Wednesday from 9 to 10 a.m. at the church. The McHugh-Wilczek Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. Leona M. Falshock of Hazelton. Service will be held Thursday at 8 p.m. at the Damiano Funeral Home. Friends may call Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. Margaret M. Vislocki of Hazelton. Funeral will be held Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. from the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Friends may call Tuesday from 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. And Betty J. Sheeman of Pond Creek. The McHugh-Wilczek Funeral Home will announce complete arrangements. Tonight's obituaries have been brought to you by the Smilax Floral Shop located on 15th Street in Hazelton. For delivery to all local funeral homes, call 570-454-0111. And by Mia's. Don't settle for second best when dining out. Discover Mia's new low-price dinner menu. And remember, there's always plenty of free gated parking behind the Markle Building.
After launching an attack against the parents of his opponent, Butler Township Supervisor and Democratic candidate Ransom Young has issued an apology. Young apologized to the parents of State Representative Tara Toohill in a letter sent to News 13. Young said, "In my response to what I perceived as yet another slap in the face to the education of our children, I inadvertently and with sincere regret allowed Mr. and Mrs. Toohill to be caught in the middle." Young's attack made last week's was based on the listing of 2 parcels of vacant land owned by Toohill's parents in a Luzerne County tax sale notice. Peter and Barbara Toohill have since paid and are no longer listed for tax sale. Young tells News 13 he has also invited Mr. and Mrs. Toohill to breakfast and would like to privately apologize. Disabled veterans from the Wilkes-Barre VA Hospital made their way to Freeland over the weekend to visit with members of the American Legion Post 473 for a little socializing and reminiscing. Saturday's lunch was a way of saying thank you to the vets for their service to our country. Over a dozen veterans came together to have lunch and were even treated to entertainment from DJ Giggles and went home with some goodies.
Last year, our organization went up to the VA hospital and we sponsored a pizza and a bingo. It was held during the week and it made it very difficult for a lot of our members to attend. So this year we decided that we would bring the patients from the hospital down here to enjoy a luncheon with us.
And does it feel good to get out of the hospital and come up here?
Oh yeah, a little bit.
Well, first of all, we're all veterans, and we would do anything to help them out. And some of these veterans that are here, they're from our area, and they're glad to be here with us.
All the food was made by the members of the Legion, and not only were the vets able to spend some time away from the VA hospital, but enjoy the company of one another. Another veteran stopped by the Freeland American Legion over the weekend, this time on Sunday. Friends and family of First Lieutenant Jeff Broyan welcomed him home after his second deployment to Afghanistan. Just last week, Broyan arrived back in the U.S. safe and sound, and that called for a celebration. Family, friends, and supporters of the Marines stopped by to say hello. Broyan is a 2004 graduate of Hazelton Area High School and studied at Westchester University. After college, Broyan enlisted in the Marines. News 13 talked with Lieutenant Broyan about being home.
It's great to be home, to finally see friends and family again, and just get a little downtime and relax a little bit. Just the ability to see friends and family, and sometimes even just talk to them. It takes weeks, sometimes months, to communicate with some people, so just being able to talk to someone is very nice. All I know is the people in Afghanistan do know about Freeland. In fact, handing out some Whippet stickers to some of the locals. So it's definitely Freeland forever, Whippets till we die over there.
Brian did re-enlist for another 3 years, but he says he doesn't believe he will go back to Afghanistan. Right now, Brian is looking forward to just spending time with his family and friends. All of us here at News 13 wish him the best of luck, and thank you for your service to the red, white, and blue. In 2009, former street stock car racer Brad Klein lost his life at the young age of 25. Friends, family, and the racing community who knew and loved Brad headed to the track Sunday to remember a true champion. News 13 stopping by Mountain Speedway Sunday for the 4th annual Brad Klein Memorial Street Stock Shootout. Sunday's action was intense, and the purpose important. Many recalled the glory days of the multi-time track champion's young career. All right, stay with us tonight. More news is headed your way next here on News 13. For some local students, it was time to strap on those backpacks and head to class. The start of a fresh new school year is where we begin right now.
From the Samson Production Studios in the heart of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, it's your News 13.
Thanks so much for staying with us tonight. I'm Jasmine Brooks. Well, it was back to school for students at McAdoo Catholic this morning, and with a brand new year comes a brand new principal. News 13 stopping by this morning to meet Sister Mary Sue Carwile and talk with some students on their first day back. With just under 90 students, this school may be small, but they're focusing on a big lesson this year.
We talked about our goal for the year. We're using a program called Filling Our Buckets, and talked about how we fill each other's invisible buckets by being kind to one another.
We have buckets in our classroom, and now we have to not put each other down, and we just be kind to each other, and that fills each other's buckets.
Well, the first day back at school is actually pretty fun. It's nice to see all my old friends, and there's a couple of new ones.
Well, it was good. It was fun. We got all our books and met all our new students, so that was good.
The Filling Our Buckets program is a simple program, and the lesson, life-lasting. Well, from the little kids to the big kids, students at Penn State Hazleton also headed to class this morning for their first day back. We caught up with one incoming freshman who was extremely excited to begin his college career.
College is really interesting. It feels incredibly awesome to be here and meeting a bunch of new students and teachers and faculty, and honestly, it is the strangest feeling to be out of the high school realm and into college and having to be an adult.
Students began moving into the campus residence halls on Friday and all weekend attended orientation to get familiar with Penn State. A reminder to community members, the Hazleton Area School Board will meet for a special meeting tonight in the administration building at 6 p.m. One of the big issues that the board will talk about on tonight, whether to keep varsity baseball coach Gino Cara. That agenda item was taken off by the board president, Brian Early, last time around. Also on tonight's agenda, to approve an agreement with athletic director Fred Barletta. The board is expected to vote on a severance agreement as well as an independent contractor agreement. Again, that meeting tonight, Monday, 6 p.m. in the administration building. More news headed your way next here on News 13. Still ahead, we'll head over to the borough of McAdoo, where a major road is getting a facelift. New developments in the homicide case of 29-year-old Aaron Resnick. Police have tracked down his iPhone, which they say his murderers, 17-year-old Mitchell Didas and 19-year-old Brian Judon, took from him the night they beat him and left him to die. News 13 found police and the district attorney's office at Smart Geek System Friday evening, where they executed a search warrant. Investigators were following activity on Resnick's phone, which led them to this West Hazleton business.
But investigators did come in and inquired about the phone and explained that it was something was taken off a victim from an assault. And that ultimately they denied ever receiving the phone. They denied ever, having any knowledge of it. Once we came back and questioned them on it based on the information that we found from the phone records that told us where the cell phone towers were hitting off of, they were still hesitant to say that they had the phone, and ultimately what they did is they said they had to look for it, but ironically enough, the timestamp shows that they were wiping the phone immediately of data once we left here, and by the time it was complete, that's when the people stated that they found the phone and called us to come retrieve it. So ultimately they destroyed evidence when we intentionally told them it was evidence. They specifically knew what it was, and it's a very, very serious thing.
So far, no additional charges have been filed in the case. 17-year-old Mitchell Dides and 19-year-old Breon Judon remain behind bars, charged with homicide. Police say this man, 24-year-old Justin Vaughn, is now back in custody after turning himself into authorities over the weekend. Vaughn, who was a resident of Minsek, never returned to the facility after completing community service on Thursday. He turned himself into Bloomsburg police late Sunday night. One local business community was out in full force over the weekend, showcasing products and services to people who need a job or maybe want a new one. News 13 stopping by the Laurel Mall Saturday for the Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce's. They held an expo, a business expo rather. The chamber holds the exposition to give businesses a chance to showcase what they have to offer and to make the public aware of what's available in the area.
And we have chamber member businesses here who are taking advantage of what we hope will be a very busy weekend, a back-to-school shopping weekend. And the businesses are here to promote what they do.
Well, as NovaCare, we're to serve the community. We like to help people get their lives back in rehabilitation. So I think it's good for us to come out and let the community know that we're here, help serve the community. I think that gives a better unity in the community. So I think it's really, really an important thing.
Local businesses like Applebee's, Bayonne Nurses, and Honest Abs Tax were just three of the many businesses who came out over the weekend to participate. After launching an attack against the parents of his opponent, Butler Township Supervisor and Democratic candidate Ransom Young has issued an apology. Young apologized to the parents of State Representative Tara Toohill in a letter sent to News 13. Young said, "In my response to what I perceived as yet another slap in the face to the education of our children, I inadvertently and with sincere regret allowed Mr. and Mrs. Toohill to be caught in the middle." Young's attack, made last week, was based on the listing of 2 parcels of vacant land owned by Toohill's parents in a Luzerne County tax sale notice. Peter and Barbara Toohill have since paid and are no longer listed for tax sale. Young tells News 13 he has also invited Mr. and Mrs. Toohill to breakfast and would like to apologize privately. One major road in the borough of McAdoo is getting a facelift. PennDOT crews were hard at work along Kennedy Drive Monday morning when News 13 stopped by. Crews started milling the roadway today and plan on finishing up tomorrow. The paving is expected to start in about a week. Again, parking is not permitted along South Kennedy Drive Tuesday from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. All right, stay with us tonight. Freddie B is still on deck with the latest in the sports world, and a look at that forecast for the rest of the week is still coming up. Also ahead, the smell of garlic filled the air for miles. We stop by the Hot and Stinky Garlic Festival next. Welcome back. Well, it was the perfect weekend to spend outdoors, and some families took advantage of the weather by heading to the lake. News 13 stopping by Lake Irina Saturday morning, where the fishermen and women got a lesson in fishing safety and just fishing in general from a member of the Pennsylvania Fish Commission.
Family day to teach the kids how to fish. It's family, fathers, sons, teach the young kids how to fish.
Why do you think it's important to get kids out and teach them how to fish?
Well, if we get them out here, we'll get them off the streets and maybe they'll stay out of trouble and they can have more fun out here than they can in town.
Another perk for those who headed to the lake, everyone got a fishing pole and bait free of charge. This event was sponsored by the Hazel Township Recreation Board. This weekend was the annual Keystone State Hot and Stinky Garlic Festival held at Zanolini Nursery. And it's safe to say folks had a stinkin' good time at the Hot and Stinky Festival. Farmers, crafters, and food vendors set up tents all around for the public to enjoy. There was even a chance to test out some recipes in the chili cook-off. But the highlight of the weekend, well, some brave people participated in a garlic eating contest as well as a hot pepper eating contest I could not even imagine. I have a feeling that many of the people who were eating at the festival brushed their teeth as soon as they got home. Well, it's the start of a brand new week, so let's check on that weather and see what Mother Nature is bringing our way. Beginning in Schuylkill County tonight, a chance of showers and thunderstorms are likely, and of course the clouds will be out. Some wind with a low down to 63 degrees. Your 4-day outlook goes like this. Tuesday, we're going to see partly sunny skies, but showers and thunderstorms heading our way once again. 82 for your high, 53 for your low. Wednesday, sunny during the day with a high of 79 degrees. Mostly clear skies at night with a low around 50. Thursday, sunny skies with a high near 82. Very simple. Mostly clear skies at night with a low of 56. And Friday, the sun is sticking around with a high of 87 degrees and clouds coming out at night with a low of 62 degrees. Now, a student from the West Hazleton Elementary School, she's helping to bring tonight's Greater Hazleton forecast with this beautiful creative condition. Tonight, we're going to see cloudy skies, a chance of thunderstorms heading our way in the Greater Hazleton area, a low down to 59 degrees. Heading into our 4-day outlook, it goes like this. Showers likely on Tuesday, then it's going to get a little bit cloudy, but the sun will eventually come out, a high of 75 degrees, a low down to 53 degrees. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, it's going to be a sunny day. Your highs and lows in the 70s and 80s. Your highs 73 degrees for Wednesday, low 49. Looking into your Thursday, 77 with a low of 56 and 82 degrees on Friday and a low of 61 degrees. Your forecast tonight brought to you by Valley High. You're going to want to go there all week because it looks like it's going to be nice weather. They're located on Route 93 in West Hazleton. Not only do they have ice cream, but lots of food platters and so much more. And of course, they're open for the season. Catch them while you can. In 2009, former street stock car racer Brad Klein lost his life at the young age of just 25 years old. Friends and family of the racing community who knew him and loved him headed to the track on Sunday to remember a true champion. News 13 stopping by the Mountain Speedway Sunday for the 4th annual Brad Klein Memorial Street Stock Shootout. Sunday's action was intense, the purpose important. Many recalled the glory days of the multi-time track champion's young career. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. Thanks so much for making us a part of your day. You can catch this newscast again with a rebroadcast throughout tonight or go to our website. That's SSPTV.com. There you're going to find everything Greater Hazleton, Schuylkill County, and beyond. It's all just a click away. On behalf of your News 13 team, be safe and we'll see you on Tuesday. Good night.